So I know what you're thinking, this list looks absolutely shocking, and you would be correct. There are a lot of things wrong with this list. However, we have just had new Infernoid support announced, so in this video I'm going to talk you through the new cards, and then I'm going to show you a quick kind of one-card combo. It requires a couple of discards that ends on a pretty decent board. So we're going to start with the main deck cards. We've got two new spells. We've got Void Blaze Up and we've got Void Barrier. Start with Void Blaze Up. This card says, reveal one Infernoid monster or one Void spell trap in your hand, discard your entire hand, then draw the same number of cards you discarded. If you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are Fiend monsters, and this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it, then target up to 11 of your banished Infernoid monsters with different names, return them to the graveyard. So this is a really good card. You're playing a wealth of monsters that you don't really want to be in your hand, so the ability just to activate it, discard them all, draw a new hand, just fill your graveyard with things that you can use to start building a board is absolutely incredible, and this effect that allows you to put back your banished cards into the graveyard is also insane because it means you get to reload your graveyard for a second time to be able to make another push to win the game, which is really, really good. We've got one copy of Void Barrier in here. This is another new card. It is a continuous spell. Infernoid monsters you control gain 100 attack for each of your banished Infernoid monsters. You can only use the following effect of Void Barrier once per turn. If you control no monsters or all monsters you control are Fiend monsters, you can activate one of these effects, add one of your banished Infernoid monsters to your hand, or special summon one of your Infernoid monsters from the hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. This is really good. Obviously, your cards are going to be banished really, really easily because you have to banish them to summon all the other guys, but also being able to special summon from the hand is going to unclog your hand when you don't see a copy of Void Blaze Up. It's going to let you drop these like 8s and 9s and 10s. You don't have graves up right at the start. So that's really cool. This card's really searchable, so I think you could play one. You could probably play 2 or 3, to be honest. It depends on the sort of build you're going for. I'll probably play 1 in this list. The next two cards are both in the extra deck. We have one Fusion and one Link monster, and honestly, they're both kind of insane. So this first one's Infernoid Evil. It requires 2 Infernoid monsters to Fusion summon. It is a level 1. You can only use each of the following effects of Infernoid Evil once per turn. If this card is Fusion summoned, you can banish one Infernoid monster from your graveyard, send Infernoid monsters with different names for each other from your deck to the graveyard, equal to the banished monster's level. Now that's absolutely crazy. Deviant is level 9, and Nunku's level 10, so you have the ability to Foolish Burial 10 monsters in this with this card, which is absolutely bonkers. In some lists, you'll probably not be playing the full suite of Infernoid monsters. You'll probably be like banishing like a Sijet for 6. But in this list, I'm going for an Anunku for 10 because I think that's really funny. It has a second effect, because of course it does. If this card is sent to the graveyard or banished, you can add a Void spell trap from your deck to your hand. So this is crazy. So you're going to summon this, get the massive effect, then you're going to link it off, and you get to search for a Void spell trap. But not just that, this also triggers if it's banished, and it doesn't specify banished from the fields, which means on your turn 3, after you've already used all your graveyards, you're going to be able to banish this for one of your Infernoid summons, which is going to allow you to search for this copy of Void Blaze Up, to be able to do even more crazy stuff, or Void Barrier to summon guys back, or Imagination to go for a fusion play. So you're going to get 2 Void searches with this Infernoid Evil, which is ridiculous. And if you search Blaze Up, it means you'll turn 5. If you get to turn 5, you just get to put everything back, which is insane. The other new card is Infernoid Flood. This is a Link 4 monster, 3,000 attack, 2 monsters including, or 2 plus monsters including an Infernoid monster. If your opponent would special summon a monster, quick effect, you contribute 1 monster, negate the summon, and if you do, banish those monsters. If a card is, we'll go over this first effect first. This is just sort of warning. This is crazy. It just requires tributing 1 monster. Absolutely ridiculous. It's really, really good. Has 2 more effects though. If a card is banished from your graveyard, you can banish 1 card in the field. Okay, well we have no issues banishing from our graveyard, so this is just a non-targeting banish we can use to clear our opponent's board, which is absolutely insane. The next effect is also good. If this link summoned card in its owner's control is destroyed by your opponent, so either by battle or by card effect, you can special summon 1 Infernoid monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So this can just drop a Nunku or Deviati from the deck, which is not only a monster negate or a spell negate, it's also either Heavy Storm or Dark Hole. Is it Dark Hole or is it Regeki? This one's Heavy Storm, and this one is Dark Hole. Yeah, so Heavy Storm, Dark Hole. That makes sense. So yeah, this card just floats into either of those, which are also negates, which is also insane. So your opponent's going to have to try and out this. with some form of like non-destruction removal when it's also just Solemn Warning, which is also insane. We'll get to the combo here. It is a one-ish card combo. It requires 2 discards, one of which has to be a monster, one of which has to be any card whatsoever. So we're going to start with normal summoning this copy of Orpha Scorpio and using the effect discarding the Orpha Scorpio to special summon a copy of Darling Tonia Cobra. This is going to allow us to search for a copy of Instant Fusion. From here, we're going to link off our 2 monsters and go for a copy of Cherubini. This is going to allow us to send a copy of Rhino Warrior for cost, and then send a Nunku with the effect of Rhino Warrior. This is going to allow us to activate our Instant Fusion here to summon our Infernoid Evil, since it is a level 1 monster, and we can banish the Anunku we sent to send 10 different Infernoid monsters from our deck to the graveyards, which is absolutely insane. From here, we're going to use the effect of one of our Infernoid monsters who is higher than level 4, since they can summon from the graveyard, banishing 2 to summon it, and this gives us all the material we need to go into a Link 4, like Infernoid Flood. This is going to trigger our Evil, since he was sent to the graveyard, and it's going to allow us to search for a copy of Void Vanishment. From here, we're going to summon a couple of guys. So we're going to use Sajet, banishing a couple of other guys from our graveyards, and then we're going to use a Nunku, banishing another 3, from our graveyards, and then activating Void Vanishment. We're doing this here. There's no real reason to do it here, to be perfectly honest, but this is going to give us a DD Crow and a Spell Negate, which is quite cool. And then we're going to activate Void Vanishment, sending this copy of Call with the Grave to the graveyard to search for a copy of Void Feast. We're then going to set our Void Feast, and then on our opponent's turn in the draw phase, we're going to activate Void Feast, sending this copy of Void Vanishment to the graveyard to special summon 2 Decatrons and a copy of Sajet from the deck. This is going to allow us to trigger both of our Decatrons in sequence to send a copy of Harmodic and a copy of Deviati. So our end board here, I think if I press space it should say it on the right hand side. Yep, I did. So we have a Monster Negate in one of these Decatrons, whoever sent the Deviati. We have a Spell Negate in a Nunku. We have a DD Crow from the Sajet, the Decatron, and the Sajet, so 3 DD Crows, which could be really instrumental in some matchups. And we also have a Solemn Warning effect, which can float into another Infernoid monster, which is absolutely crazy. This could also potentially be a non-targeting banish if something is banished from our graveyard from some form of effect. There's no way of triggering it with the main combo line, but I'm sure there's something you can do to banish something, or maybe your opponent banishes something and it just triggers it. I don't know, something like that. We also have plenty of follow-up, since we still have Infernoid monster in our graveyard with the 2 Deviatis and the Harmodic and the Evil. So on our next turn, we can just go, oh, Deviati, banish, Evil, Harmodic, Deviati, or some of these guys who have left the field. Especially some of the Deviati. The Infernoid Evil is going to trigger, since it was banished, to add another Void Spell Trap. And from there, we're off to the races, and we just have enough to kill our opponent, more than likely, through all of this disruption. So that is the combo, and this is the list. I hope you understand why it is the way it is. If you happen to enjoy this video, I really would appreciate it if you could subscribe, leave a couple of likes. We're trying to build a follower base on this channel. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.